From Dexter Resurrection, please welcome series showrunner and executive producer, Clyde Phillips! Executive producer, Scott Reynolds! Woo! He's everyone's favorite detective, Uncle Batista, David Zayas! Come on!
Hola, Mexico!
And finally, here's Dexter himself, Michael C. Hall! Welcome. David, Michael. Oh my God, I can't believe I have you guys. How are you guys?
Great.
Please sit. So excited, they're excited, everyone's excited. But how are you? How's the city treating you?
We love Mexico City.
You do?
Yeah.
It would make great hunting grounds for Dexter, I assume.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, have you been eating good?
Yes,
Spicy stuff?
absolutely. The food is fantastic.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yes.
I've had a lot of mezcal. Yeah, it's been good.
So, and you've been to Mexico before? I know you told me you went to Juarez.
I went to Juarez, Tijuana, never Ciudad de Mexico.
Ah!
I had my honeymoon in Zihuatanejo.
Oh, of course you did. That's a beautiful place. And what about CCXP? This is your first CCXP, just like me, right?
Yeah, the first time.
And how does it feel? Look at this.
Very
CCXP,
good.
Come on!
Very good.
They're crazy, yes. I love you. Okay, so we're here because we're dying to know about the new series. That's the point, right? So I'm gonna start with a few questions, if you don't mind. Clyde?
Sure, you bet.
Yes, okay. I would like to know, it's been 19 years, right? 19 years since Dexter first premiered. So how has the Dexter universe, developed during this time for you to come back as a showrunner? Was it always on your mind? Did it just come back, or was it something that you never really let go?
Well, certainly nobody, when they start a show, expects it to be on for 19 years. But as Michael said in an interview that we did a couple months ago, Dexter's in my blood, Dexter's in Michael's blood, and it's a privilege to be able to do this. Viviendo el sueño.
You are. So am I right now. Oh my God. So to you, Clyde, Scott, you have worked together through so much of Dexter, right? And you have brought us New Blood, a phenomenal prequel, a talented cast, an original sin, and now Dexter Resurrections. So when you started this journey, did you imagine that it would become a franchise, a Dexter-verse, a phenomena like this?
Not for a second. I mean, when any writer or producer starts a TV show, you never expect for it to go on this long. And what's great about it is, first of all, the audience loves Michael. And when he came to us and said, I want to come back, I called Scott right away, and we figured out a way to bring him back, ran it by Michael. Michael said, go for it. We called Paramount Plus. We pitched it to them in 2 minutes, and they said, go make the show.
Could you put the mic closer to you?
Thank you. And they said, go make the show. And that just never happens. We're very fortunate to be part of this Dexter-verse. And Scott, why don't you tell them how you started?
Oh yeah, I started out as Clyde's assistant like a long time ago, and I was a writer assistant on season 1, so I've sort of been working my way out. But I love that. I mean, Dexter wouldn't have happened without all of us maniacs that love this guy so much. It's great.
Oh, God. So, what's the inspiration? Where did it come from? What did you go, we need to do something new. We go from here.
Are you talking about Resurrection?
Yeah.
Well, initially at the end of New Blood, when we shot Dexter, when Dexter had his son shoot him, the internet went crazy. They did not want this guy to go away.
We'll never let you go, Michael. You're gonna do this forever.
And then, as I think I said before, then Michael called one day and said, I want to keep going. Can you figure it out? And we figured it out.
Yeah, this is kind of a story that we've been bouncing around for a while,
Yes,
too.
we have.
Like Dexter at this point in his life when he thinks, I just got to go back to the code and take care of my dad. I'm not going to have any fake friends. I'm just going to be this guy that kills people and is a dad, and that's it. And we've always wanted to do this story of Dexter coming up against a group of serial killers in a very interesting way we get there, and feel Dexter's temptation of like, these people are like me in some ways, up against trying to be a dad to his son Harrison, you know? So it just worked out that this was the time it was supposed to happen. We got the cast we wanted and all our first choices, and it was great, yeah.
Speaking of time, Michael, what did you miss Dexter? What made you feel like this is the time to come back?
Well, there's no time like the present. And I think I just became increasingly compelled by the idea that if he didn't die, what kind of new lease on life would this give him? Would he be able to maybe shed some of the burdensome past that he's been carrying around? And yeah, we talked about it. It's plausible. It was really cold on that forest floor, and his son shot him in the chest, not the head. The door was open, and we just opened it, and he's not dead.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
We were like, if Michael Voorhees and Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers could come back, so could Dexter Morgan. Yeah,
That's right.
So it was on purpose, like, let's not shoot him in the head just in case we get everybody back together?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, in truth, when we were getting killed by the internet, I wanted to take out an ad that said, I had Michael Hall for 1 year. We needed, and then Michael had the inspiration to do this, and we just took it from there.
Now, David, I have a question for you. Yes. Angels had a front row through Dexter's journey. He's his compadre, no? They're brothers, basically. What is it about Dexter that you think makes Batista, like, almost blind to who he is? Because you know he feels something, but could you tell us more what's going on in your psyche when you're playing Batista?
Well, Angel, back in the original series, the one thing he had was admiration for people that did their job well, particularly legally and just with a good heart to do the right thing. And Dexter was that, so I thought. And he was that, except he was something else, which, of course, I didn't find out about until now.
As Batista or also as David?
As Batista.
Okay.
But he was also one of your best friends. He witnessed your wedding.
That's right.
Yeah, you were as close as could be.
Right. At least in Batista's eyes, he was one of my best friends.
Batista's passion this time around is to come after Dexter, and it gets pretty gnarly. Yeah, it gets pretty rough.
It's a different Batista.
That's actually what I wanted to know. I mean, this is a welcome cameo. Don't we love Batista? I think what everybody wants to know is what have you been up to? Not you, David. Batista. Did he go back to salsa class? Is he?
Well, no. Batista continued in the Miami Metro Police Department. He became a captain. Went from sergeant, lieutenant, became a captain, and had been solving cases with the knowledge that Dexter was killed in a boating accident years ago. And then he receives a call in New Blood. He receives a call from the chief of police in Iron Lake, who
Dexter's
says,
old girlfriend.
Dexter's old girlfriend, his old flame, and that he's still alive. And then she sends me a picture, and I said, I'll be right there. And that didn't happen in New Blood, but it happened now.
Right, but also while you were talking to the chief of police, you remembered that your former wife, LaGuerta, had a file on Dexter because she suspected him.
And she told me she suspected him, and I defended Dexter, saying there's no way he can be that. And so when I heard he was still alive and he had a different name, I checked the folder, and that's when I said, well, there's something going on, and I have to go find out.
Yeah, in our heads, Batista went there, found Dexter on death's door. There's nothing else he could do, and then came back when he woke up.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, they're great friends when you're writing them into this. What is Batista going there to see if his friend's alive, to figure out if he is the Bay Harbor Butcher? How do you write this friendship into Resurrection?
I mean, I think a lot of that is, some of that is on the page, but a lot of that is just what David and I sort of in between the lines try to bring to it. You know, we have this history, and this history of a real friendship. I mean, I think Batista was Dexter's best friend, and someone he respected, because Dexter obviously has his own code, but Batista has a code and adheres to it and honors it, and I think Dexter really respects that. And so it was sort of bittersweet to play this scene where all the simplicity of what was before is out the window, and it's complicated and gnarly and fraught with tension. But underneath it all is, for Dexter at least, this fondness and respect that he still has for Batista, and his wish that somehow Batista would be inspired to let this go.
Yeah.
But I don't think Batista's gonna let it go.
I want to know that. Will Batista let it go, David?
I don't know. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh
I think that knowing the situation, I didn't want to come in so adversarial. I didn't want to come in angry. I wanted to get more information, and also, my friend is alive, who I thought was dead for so many years.
In any other movie, this would be the hero of the story that is convinced that he's on the trail of a serial killer, you know? That's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah, you give it this great dynamic between two friends, but it's a cop, cops and robbers, but it's flipped. We want both of them to win, but you can't both win, or can you? I can't wait. So you're not gonna tell us if Angel is gonna bring the Bay Harbor Butcher to justice? Not today.
No way. No way can we answer that.
Perfect. Well, Michael, New Blood ended with Dexter being shot by his own son, her son. Where is Dexter mentally at the start of Resurrection?
I think he came to a place where he found the fact of the damage his life had done so excruciating that the only way out of that seemed to be to inspire his son to shoot him in the chest. But it didn't do him in, and in the intervening time between almost dying and waking up, he comes to realize that he's not done with life. And when he wakes up, I think he finds that he's able to put some things down. He's not denying his past, but he's not haunted by it in the same way, and he's ready to move forward. The first question he asks is, "Where's my son? Is he okay?" It's instinctual. Dexter's always wondered about his own capacity for humanity, but there's no greater evidence that he's a human being than the fact of his flesh and blood son's existence. And he's drawn to him once he discovers that his son looks like he's in New York. He goes there and is determined not to fail him again.
God. Well, I can't wait. I can't ask any more things that will spoil, but I do have...
Everything that Michael just said happens in the first episode, and then we just take off running from there.
Well, that's amazing, because speaking of the first episode and things that are gonna run off, I think our dark passengers are hungry. Ah, yes. Así que están listos para ver más Dexter. Yes? I know, Michael, you brought something special for us.
Yeah, right now we are going to premiere for your eyes, not only, but first, you're the first people to see this, is a trailer for the upcoming season of Dexter Resurrection. I hope you enjoy it. Roll it.
Somebody once told me, you have to go through hell to achieve resurrection. Hallelujah.
Dexter, it's like seeing a ghost. Chief Bishop told me that you were alive. She said that you were the Bay Harbor butcher.
So much for the happy reunion. What better place to hide
It's the greatest city in the world.
where nobody knows who you really are?
Tell me more about your friends.
Prater likes to own things. Time to meet the man of the manor.
Welcome. I cannot express how excited I am to meet you.
You really like serial killers.
I pride myself in finding the best of the best in every field.
Let's show and tell, baby.
So there are others.
On their way.
Only in New York.
Tonight's the night.
Invitation delivered.
This is a dark path you're going down.
I urge you to be careful, son.
I'm tired of being careful. What do you think?
Keep it going. How about Mexico? Oh my God.
Pretty good.
Oh, you think? So we're moving to New York, right?
Yes.
So now it's the big city. I mean, Miami is like more party. New York, that's a whole new beast. What can we expect for Dexter? What challenging things that he has to go into the city and?
I think New York is a character in this
Yeah.
new show. It's a completely new place for Dexter. Miami was round and hot and sensual. New York is concrete and angular and hard in its way. But it's in its own way a place where he can hide in plain sight again, can redefine himself, can reclaim himself. And as you can imagine, and as that trailer indicates, it's a world where all kinds of crazy characters reside that can allow him to do what he does,
Including your son.
including my son.
Oh yeah, the Morgans are losing New York. Hey, speaking of the cast and the Dexter-verse killers, this is amazing. We have Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, Neil Patrick Harris, Kristen Ritter, and there's more. What can you tell? Can you tell us a little bit about these characters?
Yeah, I mean, these actors are phenomenal. It's been really gratifying for us that our show attracts people of that caliber to join us and tell a story. But yeah, they're amazing. I mean, they're all in their own right incredible, and the sort of alchemy of the ensemble of all of us around the table when we first meet all those people is pretty magical.
And will Dexter and Harrison have to team up maybe? Is this something that might happen? Will David move to New York?
I'm not telling.
God, I'm trying. Lo estoy intentando, gente. I'm trying.
The Big Apple.
Yeah. So in previous seasons, we've seen Dexter break away from Harry's code, which was the basis. And now we see he like abandoned it and he comes back. Is this code something that keeps Dexter together, or it's something that is holding him back? I think you have played with this concept a lot. What's going on now in Resurrection with the whole code?
I think Dexter's troubles all could arguably stem to him playing fast and loose with the code and not respecting it. I think he's in a place now where he's ready to recommit to it more rigidly, more reverently. It's part of the reason James Remar is back. Harry is back in his head. He's back. Dexter is back in Harry's good graces, maybe, because he's recommitted to the code, because he's come to an appreciation of how it keeps him safe, how it makes him singular, how it allows him to do what he does. So yeah, he's back all in with the code.
Oh my God, back to basics. I love it. And speaking of basics, you've had a lot of aliases. You've been AKA Kyle Butler, Jim Lindsay, Daryl Tucker. Which one's your favorite?
Oh man, I mean, it was pretty fun being Kyle Butler, because Kyle Butler got to hang out with the Trinity Killer, even though that turned out to be a bad call on Dexter's part. But He has had a lot of aliases, but I think what Dexter relishes in this new season is that he's Dexter Morgan again.
So no more aliases.
No. His name is Dexter Morgan. Damn
Yeah,
it.
it is.
He gets his driver's license and it says Dexter Morgan, and he is completely out in the open about his name. He no longer has to pretend.
Oh, you have
He's
to
like,
make that
it's-
into merch, right?
And the reason he's able to reclaim his identity is because Batista resurrected him, sort of made it official that he's not really dead. So that's a gift he's been given by
How
Angel.
could you, David? How could you?
You can't go after a dead man, right?
Oh, legally
So,
speaking.
yes, Dexter Morgan, since I'm the one that, took care of his death certificate and gave a speech in his memorial, I figured I would be the one to resurrect him and get him back on the grid.
David, what was your favorite part of coming back to all of this?
My favorite part was actually that first scene, that first day that we worked, because I didn't know what to expect. David, the actor, did not know how I was going to. It was really, I was nervous about it, but I knew once I started acting with Michael, I went back to the old days when we just had that great rapport between us and doing these scenes. So thank you, Michael. Yeah, because it was like when I...
And that scene was so, pardon me, that scene was so beautifully done that what you just saw was really just the editor's cut. We didn't change it in the director's cut or the producer's cut or the network cut. All these things that we do all on the way to making the show. These guys just nailed it, and we went with it.
It's amazing. What was your favorite part, Michael? Was the same nailing?
Yeah, I
every
mean
scene?
that scene with Batista in this pilot episode of Dexter Resurrection is one of my favorite scenes that I've been able to play, and it's a scene that you could only play if you had almost 2 decades of history under both the characters' belt. You can't just manufacture that, and it's a part of what makes doing this now so special, because everything's informed by so much material that we've moved through and so much life that we've seen this character and the characters surrounding him live through. It's as an actor, it's a pretty unique opportunity.
Scott?
Episode 4. So this idea of Dexter meeting up with this group of serial killers that's been sort of floating around with us for a while. In episode 4, it finally happens. And that first day where they all sit down for a dinner.
The Last Supper.
Huh?
The Last Supper.
It's like the Last Supper, yeah, with Dexter as Jesus in the middle of them all. So it's Kristen Ritter as Lady Vengeance, Eric Stonestreet as Rapunzel,
Neil Patrick Harris,
the tattoo collector, and David Dasmalchian as the Gemini killer.
With Uma and with Peter.
Yeah, with Uma and Peter in the same room, watching Dexter look at these group of people that he can be mostly completely open and honest with, and seeing this pull that Dexter has, because at the beginning of the season, like you said, he's doubled down on the code and his son, and there's nothing else. But that unreliable narrator that says, I don't need this, steps into that room, and watching him just almost like a kid in a candy store. It was incredible. I mean,
Yeah, it was like an invitation to have his pick of all these victims, but it's also his pick of all these like-minded people. So he's sort of seduced into connecting with them and seduced into killing them. It's
tough for Dexter.
it's tough.
And we're almost out of time, but there's something I need to ask each of you. In one word, let's go in order. Give me one word that would describe Dexter Resurrection. One word.
One word.
Don't think about it. Yes. Could be pancakes. It doesn't matter. It's psychological.
Fun. I mean,
Fierce.
Epic.
Surprising.
So everything we need and love about Dexter. And there's Dexter. There's David. Oh my God, I think I can speak for all of us. For all of us, when I say how excited we are about having this team back, about having you here in CCXP. Yes!
Thanks for having us in your house. Yeah.
And I wish I could stay up all night talking to all four of you. You've made my day. You've made my last 20 years. This is incredible. I do true crime podcast, and you're part of because of everything that put me where I'm now. I'm sorry. Yeah, but thank you, Clyde. Thank you, Scott, David, Michael. Todos un aplauso muy, muy grande.
Thank you.
Gracias.
guys.